very good and happy Wednesday morning to everyone out there. Happy hump day to you. Landon here with you to bring you your latest weather or not weather forecast, courtesy of On Target. Getting a look out here, folks, we got a cold front that continues to slowly but surely approach and creep in here out of the north and west. It's going to make its way through here. It's going to slide through, but it's going to be in a weakening state, unfortunately. Not going to be too much coming along with this, but we can see some of the activity already blossoming out along and ahead of that front. And as this front closes in, we're going to have to deal with scattered storm chances for another day as a result. So let's get a look across the region. Barren River Lake. Taking a look over the state dock there. Beautiful start to a beautiful day over our Proclaim broadcasting cam. Got some cloud cover out there, folks. It's going to be accompanying us as we work throughout the day. I think we will have to deal with more cloud cover this morning with some more sunshine this afternoon that'll help fire off those sporadic storm chances as we work and progress throughout the day. What an immaculate sunrise view from our WRUS camera looking north over 431 from Russellville. Again, folks, showcasing cloud cover, taking out a good chunk of the atmosphere up above our heads early this morning. Getting a look and getting a gander at what's going to be unfolding for us, we can see those current readings already up in the hot and sultry department. Got readings right around the low to mid 70s region-wide. We'll be bumping highs up as what we've experienced so far this week between the low and mid 90s as we work into this afternoon. And yes, we will be looking at the opportunity at triple digit heat indices yet again. Let's give you the breakdown here of exactly what we're going to be dealing with in regards to the rain and storm chances today, along with how those heat indices are going to be behaving as well. Model guidance picking up nicely early this morning on that activity that we were just looking at. We work into this afternoon, folks, and then whenever the peak daytime heating arrives throughout the mid and latter part of the afternoon into the early evening, we get these sporadic strong storms that are going to develop across the region yet again. Much like yesterday, folks, we had the storm roulette. We had reports of excessive rainfall, loads of lightning up around Butler County, over into Logan County as well. We didn't receive a single drop here at the Weather or Not compound on the south side of Bowling Green. We did get some reports of some nice rainfall with those sporadic developments on the north side of Warren County as well. So again, it's the storm roulette. They will be remaining scattered in nature. We work throughout the remainder of our Wednesday evening. We get into our Thursday. The cold front's going to pass through here. We're still going to have some sporadic storms, but I don't think coverage is going to be as numerous as what we're going to see as we work into this afternoon and on into this evening, all right? You can see that weak cold front kind of washing out to an extent as it rolls through here in the Thursday evening time frame. Then we're really going to be cranking up the heat and humidity throughout the weekend. Here in the shorter term, however, as promised, we're going to work into this afternoon. Heat indices, mid to upper 90s. We will be getting closing in with a few of us potentially touching the century mark of 100 degrees. Here we are progressing into our Thursday time frame. It's even going to be hotter and more humid and muggy out there. You can see by the readings here that the short-term model guidance is spitting out, and that is pretty much going to be the name of the weather game of what we're going to have to deal with as we work on through the weekend. Why is that, Landon? Well, we can get the answer by looking roughly 18 to 20,000 feet of vertically extended up above our heads, all right? Take a look at the flow of what's going to be taking place. We got this ridge in place across the western U.S. Kind of have this pseudo trough here over the Great Lakes. That's what's allowing that very weak cold front to close in on the Ohio River early this morning. We're going to see that weak cool front kind of wash out as it slides through here, and then take a look at what happens as we work into Friday and the weekend to follow. We get this massive upper level ridge that builds in here, mid and upper level ridge that's going to take over the eastern tier of the United States. You all know what this means. We're going to be looking at heat indices right around the 100 degree mark, folks. Friday into Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have lesser rain chances out there, lesser cloud cover to deal with. It's going to be very oppressively hot and muggy in the great outdoors Friday all the way through the weekend. Even as we get into the early days of the new work week, you can see the ridge remains locked in here, but wait for it. As we work throughout the mid and latter part of next week, roughly a week from today, but more importantly beyond, Watch this ridge shift over the western tier of the U.S., all right? This is what we need to happen, folks, if we're going to get any sort of relief in here. Yeah, you'll note a hurricane over here off the East Coast. We'll get more into that here in just a moment. But take a look here. This is over a week from today. We roll into this pattern to where we're going to be dealing with this upper ridge absolutely cementing itself over the western U.S., and we have this trough digging down over the Great Lakes. Take a look at this illustration. This upper trough that's developing here over the Great Lakes is going to develop northwest flow aloft. Landon, why is that important for us to get some relief? Because whenever we get northwest flow aloft, it's going to be ushering in a cold fronts out of the north and west and swinging them right through our vicinity. So we could be looking at an uptick of rain and storm chances around the mid to latter part of next week. And whenever the cold front makes it down to our south, we will finally be able to open up our arms and welcome in that much needed sense of relief from the heat, but more importantly, that oppressively high humidity that we've been having to continue to deal with, all right? So take a look at what this is going to result for us with the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere taking this shape. Take a look at what's going to occur as we roll into this time frame down at the surface. By the time we roll into Thursday of next week, this should be whenever around the time the cold front's trying to make its way through here, we already have dew points that are still residing right around the mid and upper 70s. But look at that sweet relief with a cold front coming through here as it passes through with that northwest flow aloft. We're going to be looking at dew points falling all the way down to the upper 40s to lower 50s. Folks, keep the fingers crossed that this comes to fruition. We're still roughly a week and a half out on this, but this comes to fruition, folks. We're going to be talking about major relief, and not just for, half a day or so, like what we experienced here last week. We're talking about maybe a 4, 5, 6, dare I say it, week stretch to where we'll be catching some relief down here with much drier air trying to reside across the region. Although we do got to wait another 7 to 10, 12 days for this to occur, folks. This is something that we do want to see, given the righteous heat and humidity that we have been having to continue to deal with, all right? Take a look out here. We're still dealing with just a simple generalized thunderstorm risk on the weather front as we work throughout the day. Severe weather is not expected, but like what we saw yesterday right along the Ohio River, they had a few storms that reached marginally severe criteria with some gusty, damaging winds. So we'll need to keep a close eye on things. Any storm that develops, it's the broken record over the past several weeks. Efficient rain producers, lots of lightning, gusty winds, all on the cards in the fold for that. Tropical storm Erin continues to churn out off the Atlantic, well off of the southeast coast of the continental U.S. This is going to be worth keeping extremely close eyes on. National Hurricane Center is still forecasting this thing to develop to a hurricane by the early morning pre-dawn hours of our Friday, but very quickly strengthening just north of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic there into a major hurricane, rolling into the pre-dawn hours of Sunday on into Monday of the new work week. And you can see there, folks, by Monday that is closing in on the southeast coast of the U.S. mainland. Definitely worth keeping very close eyes on as hurricane season continues to ramp up here across the region. We're taking with a grain of salt the rainfall forecast. We saw this yesterday. This thing was spitting out maybe a 10 to a quarter of an inch. Had some reports of a quarter of an inch or more of rainfall achieved across western portions of Butler County with the showers and storms that set up over in that direction. Understand that any storm that you get caught under could develop loads of efficient rainfall as a result. You could see a very quick quarter to half an inch put down out of these. That is all dependent upon if you win out on the storm roulette game. Here's a full breakdown of your next 6-day weather forecast. Scattered storm chances both today and tomorrow. Very warm and muggy otherwise. For today, dealing with loads of cloud cover this morning. A bit more sunshine this afternoon that will spurn off those storm chances. And then, folks, after our Thursday, the heat is on. We're going to crank up that heat and humidity with that mid and upper level ridge absolutely dominating our weather pattern. Mid and upper 90s in the temperature department Friday all the way through the start of the new work week with triple digit heat indices, all but a guarantee. Friends, it's going to wrap up your Wednesday morning hump day edition of your Whether or Not forecast, brought to you by On Target.